for joining us today. Firstly, just tell us a little about your background and your role at Virgin Atlantic.
My background is, my role at Virgin Atlantic is Vice President of Marketing for North America. My background is a combination of marketing positions both on the corporate side and on the ad agency side. I've worked for a number of advertising agencies and a number of different companies doing marketing jobs as well. So I keep gravitating between the world of communications, between the corporate and agency worlds.
Right. Now, in your experience, do you think that airline branding is any different from branding other companies or industries?
Well, that interesting question. I think as a marketer, you always look for the intrinsic challenge within the category that you're working in, and you find those challenges within each category. I would say from an external perspective, meaning a customer-facing perspective, the airline business does have an element of commoditization to it, so that what's happened to the industry over a number of decades is, I think, where it has gone from one of strong brands to one more of transport. Right. And it's sort of the democratization of the airline business has come through deregulation. I think that more and more consumers do think about travel as a means from getting me from point A to point B, and not necessarily understanding the differentiation and the points of difference between the various carriers. Right. I think our job as airline marketers is to make sure, just as we do, as marketers do in every other category, to highlight for consumers what those differences are between products, and obviously where you're fortunate enough to work for a brand that has a superior product, make sure that you point out those differences and hopefully gain more consumers coming to the airline, as well as build frequency among your most loyal travelers.
Right. Now, it's interesting you bring up commoditization and democratization of airlines coming from Virgin Atlantic, because your airline itself has differentiated itself very well. I mean, when you talk to Americans about which is a great leading airline brand, they say, oh, it's Virgin Atlantic or Singapore Airlines. Now, one of the latest initiatives you launched was Airforia. Can you tell us a little about this and why now in a downturn?
Yeah, I think, I'll go back for a second. I think the perception I gave you on democratization, I think, really came from a domestic carrier perspective. I think the international carriers have always had a special place in terms of defining themselves as brands, both in the marketplace and within consumer hearts, since international air travel always has an added aspect of allure and intrinsic intrigue to it. I think Airforia for us at this particular time comes at a great time. I think Virgin is an outstanding brand and has built itself over the past 24 years. Next year will be our 25th year in operation. As really is a change, is a difference maker, a change maker. I think the airline has always been committed to the pursuit of the exceptional and offering consumers, a quality product and outstanding value, and they've done it in a particularly engaging, fun and innovative way. So I think from product to promise to service to all different aspects, we've successfully done that. Airforia for us is a natural evolution of that, certainly in the United States, and this is a U.S. only based campaign, so for travelers that are going to London and beyond.
That's right.
The campaign for us really comes at a great time where as we look at the economy, we look at competitive carriers both on the domestic side, because I do think domestic carriers set some of the mindset of the travel industry for flyers, as well as the international carriers in the market. There's not a lot of good news out there. I think the consumer has been picked upon, taken advantage of. Certainly, as carriers look to cut costs, cut capacity, look for what they deem ancillary revenue, all of those things that don't seem so consumer friendly. I think we look for opportunity within our product and within our brand to do that. And I think Airforia as a campaign comes at a great time where we looked at our product and basically said, obviously we're not like every other carrier. We've never been positioned like every other carrier.
Right.
We need to make a more public statement about that, a more, use it certainly as a creative and an advertising platform, certainly. but as a way to capture, what it is that we are. And I think, obviously, it's a play off of the word euphoria.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea behind it is not just a pleasant experience, not just a nice experience as some other carriers, I think, have positioned themselves, but one that you can truly get excited about and think about as part of your journey. So if you're on the leisure side, it's almost as if your vacation begins before you get to the airport, that we're part of that excitement of your vacation or your leisure travel. Right. And I think same thing for a business traveler. It is a way to empower them and enable them to either relax on a flight, do work on the flight and be productive as they can, rest and prepare for the business journey that's ahead and the challenges that are ahead. So I think the idea of communicating a sense of really what we'll call intense pleasure and happiness that comes from flying on Virgin is sort of the core and soul behind this campaign.
Right. Now, I'm curious because given it's a downturn and marketing spending is generally being cut out, what is the ROI metric that you personally are taking into account when evaluating Airforia?
I think a lot of different things. You look at traditional tracking measures for brand tracking measures, awareness tracking measures for. You look at feedback you get from your sales department. You look at feedback you get from your corporate travelers in terms of the corporate contacts that they make. We obviously look at number of revenue numbers of passengers, increased flying,
right.
All those kinds of hard measures, if you will, the economics of the business. But there are in the communications area, obviously, there are harder aspects of this functional area to measure, and we look for third-party research to help us get at some of those, as well as anecdotal feedback.
Right. Now, I'm just curious, was Airforia more targeted to the business traveler or the leisure traveler?
Very good question. It was targeted to both travelers, actually, and I think if you look at the tone that we strike in the copy, some of it acknowledges the business traveler, some of it acknowledges the leisure traveler. Mm-hmm. I think in this environment right now, I would say we've used it certainly in New York, probably a little more tactically around the business traveler, but I say with just a hint of that, very much in the design of the campaign was not to develop a message that would not speak to the leisure traveler as well. So I'd say both audiences really were in the sweet spot of where we were targeting.
Right. Now, in your experience, you've been in the industry for so long, do you think brands that pay attention to their brands, basically in downturns, come out stronger out of downturns?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the data clearly supports that. It's a difficult position for brands that are, any brand or any company that's challenged in a tight economic environment, to always justify marketing spend. But I think the research has shown that those companies that are committed to marketing, committed to branding, and have a deep and powerful understanding of the role that brands play, understand that they do need to market in a down environment. And in fact, when the market starts to come back and there starts to be more spending, those are the brands that are usually better positioned to compete in the marketplace, and certainly have a better position in the consumer's minds because they've been out there in a weak market. So we very much look at this time for Virgin as an opportunity to continue to do what we've always done, but we don't want to back off our aggressiveness, and we want to make sure the consumer and the marketplace is well aware that we are, in fact, we believe the best alternative for flying, certainly from the U.S. to London and beyond.
Right. Now, given that it's a downturn time, has there been a refocus in marketing strategy at Virgin? Because one of the recent things I noticed was a nice Facebook page where Virgin was experimenting with social media. Is that a strategy that Virgin Atlantic is going towards as well?
So, say that again. In terms of social media, was that the question?
That's right.
Yeah, I think we are always looking for innovative media and technology, emerging innovative media and technology. Certainly, social media is here and growing, and I think Virgin always wants to be on the cutting edge of those types of technologies. So we have begun to to move in that direction. I think certainly our presence on Facebook, while not a dominant position right now, certainly we've begun that, and I think how we function as a company will continue to mine those areas and develop those outlets for our messaging.
Right, and are there any new initiatives coming, say some social network like what KLM or Lufthansa have started?
Probably not what I would discuss on this call. Let's put it that way. But I think we are looking clearly, with the blogger community as an example. I mean, clearly, it is a community that we have begun to engage with. We clearly need to do more. Bloggers serve a tremendous value, both to general travelers, but also to leisure and business travelers in their own right. And that's a community that we need to do. We'll continue to do a good job, a stronger job in developing.
Right, but do you think that going online makes the brand lose control of itself?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think the internet has certainly democratized, use the word again, but it's democratized messaging and communication among not only constituencies but individuals. And I think it's difficult in this environment to control messaging. So rather than try and control messaging, because there are so many different outlets that consumers or flyers get their messaging, that you want to make sure you're a part of the process and you can engage where appropriate, and try and make sure that all the various stakeholders and constituencies understand your approach to the marketplace, your approach to the business, and how you hope to make their experience better.
Right. Now, let me move on to the current state of affairs a little. Now, given that we are in a bad economy, slowing economy, do you think the brand is more important than the products still, like sustaining operations?
That's a tough question. I guess I would answer that through the vision of a marketer.
Okay.
I do believe brands are of tremendous value. Are they more valuable or less valuable than product? I think that's a hard question to answer based on your point of view. I would say as a marketer, the value of a brand is extraordinary.
Right.
Because it extends both from consumer expectation all the way through product delivery. If the product does not deliver to the promise that's made in the communication through branding, then obviously you're going to have a severe problem. I think if the product does measure up, then you have a nice relationship where any branding you do is enhanced by the product experience and the product that enhances the brand. So they sort of go hand in hand together. I think brands and brand value are traditionally undervalued, and I think most companies don't understand that. Virgin is clearly a company that has a firm grasp of that. I think when you look at the Virgin company overall, we've taken the Virgin name and extended into many, many different product categories. I think we have over 150 brands that make up the product category, a variety of product categories, because we believe that the Virgin brand name stands for a set of values. Customers have come to believe in those values, and I think anytime they go and have experience with one of the Virgin products, they expect those values to be met. And I think where we do it successfully, that happens.
Right. Now, in this downturn, one of the key things that's helping airlines are loyalty programs. How important has the Virgin Atlantic Flying Club been as a structural anchor to keep business travelers in this climate?
Yeah, I think a flying club for us is an extremely important part of what we do. I think, when we've looked at, for example, some of the more recent awards we received, I think we were just named the 2008 in the Zagat's Global Airline Survey, the best frequent flyer program. So I think that just is an example, as well as other accolades we've had around frequent flyer. I think your best customers, your most frequent customers, are the ones that you need to speak to, in a very focused way, but in a way that keeps them coming back.
Right.
The goal, obviously, of any brand is trial, but once you get the trial, it's up to the brand and the product to deliver on that. And I think it's always easier to get additional business from someone that has exposure to your product and your brand and has a positive experience with it, and you want to make sure that audience is well informed, well taken care of, and well regarded, so that they stay with you for years and years to come.
Right. Now, interestingly, one of the new business models emerging especially in Europe, are a lot of consolidated airlines. Like there's Air France KLM, there's Lufthansa gobbling up tons of European airlines, there's British Airways, Iberia. Is Virgin likely to go down that road?
I think I would say, Virgin often speaks to third parties as opportunities may or may not come up. I mean, we're always out there and available to speak with parties. I think we're always looking for new and exciting opportunities. Clearly, it's a fast-growing and dynamic industry, so that we'll always talk to and have conversations with those that are interested in talking with us. We certainly don't close off any conversations. It's all about, for us, defining an even better value of the consumer experience.
Right.
And that's really what we're looking for. I think in terms of mergers and consolidation specifically, a core part of what we look for is, as I said, it's got to be in the best interest of the consumer. And I think where we look at something in the airline industry that we're not in favor of, in particular, is the BA-AA alliance. Right. Which we feel, is a virtual merger and will in fact stifle competition between Heathrow and the United States.
Yep.
And I think when we look across our gateways, the control that a BA and AA alliance would have, it's fairly significant, and we don't think that type of monster monopoly is beneficial to the consumer in any respect at all.
Right. Now, given that this is the trend and more airlines are doing this, I know historically code shares have served Virgin Atlantic well, but are there any plans of joining one of the big three alliances?
The short answer to that would be I'm probably not the best person to talk about its current states of negotiation and where we are on that. As I said, I think we have existing code share agreements with our partners. Would always look for additional opportunities, but whether we're looking to join one of those alliances, I can't really comment with any knowledge.
Right. Just from a branding perspective, given your background, which would actually serve Virgin better, a code share or an alliance?
I'd have the same answer for that. Probably not I'm not the best person to talk to on that.
Okay, I actually read this recent Time magazine article on Richard Branson, and it ended by saying that if all the Virgin entities, just the Virgin Airlines, tied up in a code share kind of alliance, that will be a very big behemoth to hold. Is that on the cards?
You're talking about within the Virgin brands of companies?
That's right, like Virgin America, Virgin Nigeria, Virgin Blue, and Virgin Atlantic forming an alliance.
Yeah. Again, whether I'm not sure what the language would be. I would certainly think that we would talk with within our existing companies and look for opportunities that are beneficial to the consumer, and those that we see that make the most sense, we would certainly explore.
Right. Now, early in the conversation, I think you mentioned you would generally, to get ideas about how a campaign is doing, how the brand is doing, you would look at external benchmarking indexes and things like that. Which do you value more? Is it Zagat or Skytrax, Travelin, Leisure, or something else?
You're saying the value that we put on one versus the other?
That's right. Are they any more important than the other?
That would be a very hard question for me to answer. I think any time that we're recognized by anyone in the industry is offering a product, a service that's recognized as being superior to the competition, we're incredibly flattered by it, and it really is a testament in any aspect, a testament to both the dedication of the Virgin Atlantic team internationally, as well as the commitment of our employees. I think any accolade we get, we value, we appreciate the acknowledgement of it as a testament to the hard work, and we're happy to receive it.
Right, that's nice. Now, just closing up.
It's a true statement. I'm not trying to be coy about it. I think any time someone compliments you, you're appreciative of that recognition, and it certainly makes you feel good about the effort you're putting in.
That's right. Now, what is the most exciting thing in the works for Virgin Atlantic in 2009?
I think probably the I can't give you specifics on it, but 2009 for us, as I said earlier, is a year of great opportunity. It's our 25th anniversary as a carrier, so we are looking for and planning on lots of different ways to go out to market with exciting news, both within the industry as well within our frequent flyer base and our customer base, just to surprise and delight them and remind them of the many ways that we have 25 years of tradition, 25 years of innovation, fun, pursuit of the exceptional, pursuit of excellence, and I think we look forward to another 25 years and beyond of offering the same things. Should be a great year of fun for us. A little bit of looking back and taking pride, but also really looking forward and how we're able to not only appreciate the customers we have so far, but how we continue to build the airline and reward our customers even more.
Right. And what's your thoughts about just the airline industry in 2009?
I think 2009 is going to be a very tough year for the industry overall. As you said earlier, there will be increased consolidation. I think the economic pressures on each carrier will continue. Obviously, fuel is a driver of that, and depending upon where that comes out, that'll have an effect. Obviously, recently it's been more favorable than over the summer, but right. We'll see how that develops. I think it will be a tough year all around, and the carriers that will succeed the most are the ones that stay focused on their core mission, their core commitments, treat their customers well, and offer the best possible products that they can, because I think consumers will see through all of this and ultimately go for the carriers that are the most honest with them and the most rewarding.
That's right. Now, what about Jim Mezoff in 2009?
What about Jim Mezoff in 2009? You tell me. I mean, I'll just give you some quick background. I joined Virgin I think it's about 8 months ago. And I previously had come from an advertising agency. So for me, this is my first experience in the airline industry, and it has been it's been fun. I mean, I love the retail nature of the business. I love the speed of the business. Clearly, there are a lot of good brands out there. I think, I'm now biased, but I did come to Virgin thinking we had an outstanding brand and the best in the business, and I still firmly believe that. I think we offer a great product. And we offer a great way of doing business and a great attitude to the consumer. And I think that combination between the products that we offer, the thinking behind those products, and the manner in which we deliver those, particularly through our customer service, is very exciting for me. So I'm just very pleased and proud to be a part of the airline, and hopefully over time we'll leave my legacy on a great brand, and I can make it just a tad bit greater.
That's awesome. Thanks a lot, Jim, for sharing your thoughts and joining us at simpliflying.com.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.